Psachta Sanhedrin Daf Samach Aleph Amar Aleph. We're starting from Samach Amid Beis, from 4 lines from the bottom. Amalei Rava. The Brais is proving that Zvicha was singled out to tell us that all the avodas that were done in the Pnim, in the Beis Hamikdash, cannot be used for any avodah zarah, even if it's shalei kedaka, if it's not the way it's served. And the shtachava, the bowing that was singled out only for itself, that the bowing by any avodah zarah is going to be forbidden, but not all those that are similar to bowing, which is a derech shel kavod. Amalei Rabbi Chanan Rabaya. Rabbi Chanan said to Abai, let us say b'emes yatsi yishtachava l'lam nala kol kulei. Let us say yishtachava was singled out to teach us for all avodah zarah, so all avodas that are similar to yishtachava, like hugging, kissing, should be forbidden in every avodah zarah, even if it's shalei kedaka. V'chitem, and if you're going to want to say zeveyach. Lamali, what do I need the pasuk to be singled out by Zvicha? What is he coming to teach us? You can learn out Zvicha from bowing, because Zvicha is also a Aveda of Kaved. So what do I need it singled out? Legufe says Gemara will come to teach us about the Zvicha itself, that the Mechashma Aveda Aveda, if somebody, while he was shechting, had in mind that the spraying of the blood from that behemoth that he's shechting, or the burning of the fats, should go for avodah zarah, then it could be mechayv and misa. The hitman that we learned, the Gemara brings a machlek is of hashich behemoth. One who slaughters a behemoth is a to spray with having in mind while he was shechting to use the blood for avodah zarah. Lahakter chel b'lavet, and he had in mind by the shechita to burn the fats for avodah zarah. Rabbi Yochanan says that it's asma. This behemoth is asma now. Reish Lakish Shama muteres. Reish Lakish said it's muter. Said the Gemara Adnik Rabbi Yochanan. It's understood according to Rabbi Yochanan that he learns from a different marker that while shechting, having in mind to use the blood or the fats for avodah zarah is going to be aser from pigul, just like by pigul when he had in mind to spray the blood. Not on the same day, but for another day, or to use the nason more than to be able to use the nason longer than the allotted time for it, so it makes the carbon puzzles. Here also, while shechting, they had in mind to use it for the blood or the fats for avodah zarah, it's going to be puzzle. El Reish Lakish, but according to Reish Lakish, he doesn't have a marker, and he doesn't compare it to pigul, to tell you that while he's shechting and he has mind for spraying the blood or burning the potatoes for avodah zarah, that it's going to be asa. Bayikra, he needs the pasuk of Zeveyach to teach us that over here, while he was shechting, he had a mind for the zika or of the blood or the chelef for avodah zarah, that it's going to passel the behemoth, make the behemoth asmana. So for Reish Lakish, he needed the pasuk. Maskar Papa is the kasher Rabbi Yochanan. Loi Vayikra. According to Rabbi Yochanan, the pasuk wasn't needed to teach us for machshav ma'aved la'aveda, because ad kan loy kas Rabbi Yochanan el behema. He says he didn't need the pasuk for ma'aved la'aveda because he learned it from pigul. From pigul that the behemoth becomes puzzle, so here too the behemoth is going to be asmana. But if we didn't learn out of negate to the person that is going to be chayv misa, we didn't learn that he's going to be chayv misa. So the Rabbi Yochanan needs the pasuk. Rabbi Yochanan needs the pasuk of Zeveyach to teach us that the mesheichet is going to be chayv misa, like one who's able to avodah zarah. So it's not extra, the zvicha, to teach us for the klal. According to Reish Lakish, did he need the pasuk to tell us that a person is chayiv misa? The only thing that we heard that Reish Lakish would have been mata is the behema. But the person who's shechting the behema, he's chayiv misa, and we don't need a pasuk for that. Mida the hava mishtachnu lahar, just like the case of one who serves a mountain as an idol. So the hamuta v'ayv the b'sayif. The mountain is mutter because the Torah says only it says only the Avodah Zarah is on the mountains that are separate from the mountains. If somebody serves you have to destroy the Avodah Zarah. But the mountain itself is mutter. But the one who serves the mountain is going to be Chayiv Misa. That'll say over here, the behemoth could still be mutter, but even though he had a mind for Avodah Zarah, but his mind for Avodah Zarah, having a mind for Avodah Zarah, will make him chayiv, just like the one who serves the har, where the har is mutter, but the Avodah Zarah is chayiv misa. So, according to what Rav Bar Avchana sent to Abaya, that he says that we should say that Ishtachva bowing was singled out to teach us that any similar Kavadika Aveda that's done for Avodah Zarah, even if it's Shlei Kedarka, the halacha is you're going to be Chayiv Misa. So what do we do with this pasuk? It says Eicha Yavdu Hagayim Ha'ilesa Elaheyam, which is mashma, you're not Chayiv on Aveda of Avodah Zarah unless it's Kedarka, the Miyutimai, which Aveda is he coming to exclude? Because we know any Aveda that's Aveda's covered, even though it's not the Aveda of that Aveda Zarah, meaning it's Shlei Kedarka, you still chayiv on it. So which Aveda is he coming to exclude? If you're going to say the pasuk is coming to exclude somebody who defecates the Aveda Zarah, which normally is done through Zvicha, so he's doing Aveda, which is a bezayin. Says the Gemara, we know he's not going to be chayiv. You can't say that's what he's coming to exclude. You're not going to be chayiv because mehishtachavah nafka. We learn out from mishtachavah only that type of Aveda, a kavadik Aveda that's done shaloi kedak. You're going to be chayiv. Mehishtachavah derech kibbut, just like hishtachavah is done through kibbut. I've called derech kibbut. Only any other Aveda that's done by derech kibbut, even though it's shaloi kedak, only that Aveda you'll be chayiv. Through this, we'll exclude defecating, which is not the derech kavod. You're not going to be chayiv. So what is he coming to exclude? Only somebody who defecates the Avodah Zarah, which is called makulis, where they threw stones. I would have thought to say, hey, who since the Avodah of makulis is through throwing stones, which is a bezayin, afkol bezayin. So I would have thought even defecating to such a getchke, who should also be chayiv misa, because it's the same. They're both a bezayin. Kamash Malan comes to him and teaches us he's not going to be chayiv. In fact, the Gemara Allah the Amar Abelazar Menayin was avei behema la'avodah zarah la'makulis shul chayiv. From where do we know one who shechs a carbon for avodah zarah of makulis that and he does zvicha? That he's, and even though the normal Aveda is throwing stones, that he's going to be chayiv. You shouldn't shecht anymore karbanes to the shade and l'shem Aveda Zarah. If it's not coming to teach us for its normal Aveda, which is bezvicha, the chsiv, but it says already in another place, any Aveda Zarah which is kedaka, eicha yavdu ha'goyim ha'ela es elaheyam. So there it says kedaka, you're going to be chayiv. Then give it to a case where he's zeveich to Avodah Zarah, which is not the derech Avodah bezvicha, only through bezayin. But nevertheless, he's going to be chayiv. Gemara explains what was the kasha from the words of Rav Elazar. According to Rav Elchanan, it says that bowing was singled out to teach us that all over that any similar Avodah of kavod is going to be forbidden to any Avodah Zarah, even Shalei Kedarka. So Zvicha Shalei Kedarka, what's if he did Zvicha to an animal, to a Getchke, which is not the Derech Avodah through Zvicha, what's going to be the din? Meishtachavah nafka. We learn it out from Meishtachavah. So why would need a special pasuk to asa Zvicha, to the asa of doing shechting to Avodah Zarah, which is Shalei Kedarka, which is not the derech of using such a service. If we know by Yishtachava anything derech covered, even if it's Shalei Kedarka, we can learn now from Yishtachava that it's going to be chayiv. And the Gemara Hasam, the pasuk there is not talking about Avodah Zarah Shalei Kedarka Here we're talking about that he's being Zaveyach, not for the Avodah Zarah, only to anger Hashem, but he has no intention to for the Getchke to accept it as a God. So, nevertheless, he's come to teach us that he'll still be Eivan Alav. Rav Hamnuna lost 2 oxen and he went to search them. And he met Rabba. And he asked, I studied from 2 Mishnayos. And the reason why they brought this story is to tell us that even though he was mevuhol, he was searching for his animals, which is a lot of money. Nevertheless, when it came to Torah, he stopped and he listened to Rabbi's question and answered. Now we learned in the Mishnah, what's the stira? It says Dafke, somebody who serves idols is chayv skila. So he can be medaik only if he serves, but not if he says. We learned in the Mishnah just the opposite. Somebody who only just says, I'm going to serve. I'll go and serve. We will go and serve. So the chayv skila, which is misstated to what we said, only if he's ovid, he's going to be chayv skila, not amira. Nuna said back to Rabba, our Mishnah is dealing where he says specifically a condition. I'm not accepting this God as a God only through actually serving it. So therefore, if he just said ever, he's not going to be chayiv. We have Yosef. Rav Yosef answers, what are you asking? Pitting one Tana against another? 2 Mishnahs is 2 different Tanai. It's different Tanai. The Tanya we learned in Abraisa. Somebody who says to others, come and serve me. He makes himself like a god. Rabbi Yehuda Peter. Rabbi says this person is chayiv skila, and Rabbi Yehuda says he's pater. So the Gemara explains what's the case where they're arguing. It's talking about where the listeners accepted him as a god. There, nobody argues. You shouldn't make yourself as a god. Keep pligi. Where are they arguing? Where he Stam says he's a god. So Rabbeya, nobody accepted him. Rabbeya, somebody put him in Milsi. Rabbeya says his words is considered a davar shel mamish, and therefore he's chayiv. And Rabbi Yehuda Saba, dibur elav Milsi, and Rabbi Yehuda says his words are nothing. So too, our Mishnah is learning like Rabbi Yehuda, who is not mechayiv on just by saying he's a god, and therefore one who says I'm going to serve every, he's going to be potter. And the second Mishnah is going to be like Ameyu, who says that somebody who makes himself as a god just by saying the words, even though nobody accepted him, he's chayiv. Therefore, when he says just the words, I'm going to serve, he's also going to be chayiv ala miraseh. So as the Gemara, Rav Yosef, Rav Yosef retracted. This that I said before is wrong. Even according to Rabbi Yehuda, words is going to be mechayivim. By just saying, I'm going to serve. Over here, this case is different. Rabbi Yehuda is arguing, really, one will not be chayiv on his dibur without action till he says, that I will serve, or I will go and serve, or we will go and serve. But Abmesis, who says to others, come and serve me, he's going to be potter for his words. And the Gemara will explain. But my committee, what is Rabbi Yehuda arguing? But Mesis la'atzmai, where he instigates others to serve him. And they say yes, committee, that's what they're arguing. Masava, Rabbi Meir holds, Shemesis la'atzmai, shamalei. When a person instigates others to serve him, they listen to him. And this, that they said, yes, we will serve you, they're saying the truth. Umar Savan Rabbi Yehuda holds Mesis la'atzmai, when he instigates others to serve him, they will not listen to him. They're going to say, what is he different than us? Why is he a God and we're not? What's the difference? And this, that they said, yes, they're only laughing for him. And the state of the 2 Mishnayos, we can answer like this. Kan, the Mishnah says, Eved is chayev is by Yachid, and he says, is by a Yachid who was instigated. But Kan, our Mishnah is talking about when he says Eved is not going to be chayev, is by Rabban Islasim. is talking about where a group of people were instigated. Yachid loy mimlach. A yachid that was instigated, he won't change his mind. And he'll make a mistake and follow and serve the Avodah Zarah. Rabbim, but when it's a group of people who instigated mimlachi, they'll start asking between each other, and they'll change their minds. They will not follow after the mistake and follow the Avodah Zarah. They won't serve the Avodah Zarah. What do I know to make a chiluk between a yachid and a rabbim? Because by mesis it says you shouldn't desire him nor listen to him. But if he did listen, desire and listen, chayv is going to be chayv from the mashmois of the pasuk is mashma. You're talking about a yachid. It's written lashon yachid, not a rabbim. Because it says Ova v'shama, which is a lashon yachid, but a rabbim will be potter. Abaye is the kasha mi shani ben nisl rabbim nisl yachid. Is there a difference between a nisl rabbim and yachid? A time we learned in the brayso ben agay to pashas meses ki yisizcha achicha ben imacha. When your brother, the son of a mother, will instigate, echad yachid hanis v'echad rabbim hanisasim. Whether it's a yachid who's being instigated, whether it's a group of people being instigated, and they excluded a yachid from the din of a rabbim that served Avodah Zarah, meaning a rabbim which is ancheir and edachas, and yachid neklal rabbim, and a yachid who serves Avodah Zarah from the klal of a rabbim. Rabbim neklal yachid, the din of rabbim we excluded from the yachid who's Avodah Zarah, that he gets a much harsher punishment. Yachid meklal rabbim la'ak ma'agula al gufrei. A yachid we excluded from the rabbim that a yachid who serves Avodah Zarah, he has a more chamadik punishment on his guf, that it's skila. But when it comes to his money, we're lenient. And rabbim Miklal Yachid, and a rabbim was excluded from the Yachid, to be lenient on his guf, that he gets a cherev, sayif, versus versus skila. So a rabbim only gets a sayif, but the money, it gets destroyed. Versus a Yachid, the money doesn't get destroyed. So B'hamil Sehudashani, only in these two subjects is where there's a difference between the yachid and rabbim, in the punishment and in the money. But when it comes to other dinim, there's no difference between a yachid being instigated and a rabbim. That on the Amira, if they said that they're going to serve Avodah Zarah, they should be equal. They're equal. It doesn't say any chilukim. Elam Abaya. So where's going to be the chilik? How are we going to answer the chilik between the two mishnahs? Kan in our mishnah, where we said Eved is not chayiv, is benis mipiatzmai, that he instigated himself. Kan, and the Mishnah that says that somebody who says Eved is going to be chayiv is benis mipiatzmai. He was instigated from others. Mipiatzmai mimlech. If he was instigated himself, he'll change his mind. Mipiacherim, he won't change his mind. Grir basayu. He's going to go together with the group and serve Avodah Zarah, and therefore he's chayiv just for accepting the Avodah Zarah. How do I know to say this difference, the chsiv, because it says, but if he did listen, if he did desire and listen to the one who instigated him, chayiv. So you see, there's a difference when he's being instigated from others, because it's from the pasuk, it's mashma, it's talking about that he was instigated by others. It says v'shama, that it says that from this that it says Abu v'shama. So it's after in a case where he was shama, he was instigated from the mouth of others. But if he would have been instigated, he instigated himself and said, "I'm going to go serve." He's going to be patatak. Rabbi says both cases, both mishnahs are talking about where he was instigated by others. And this mishnah that we learned Evidence Chayev is the Amalei, where the mace is said to the niece says, kach echeles, this is how the idol eats, kach sheses, this is how it drinks, kach mativa, this is what it does. When you're good to it, it'll do good to you, kach maria. And so when you do bad to it, this is the bad that it'll do to you. So then he's convinced, the lo Amalei, And since he doesn't know the shvachim, so he'll change his mind and he won't serve the idols. So both of them are talking about that he was instigated by others, but one, the instigator told him shvachim of it, therefore he'll be convinced. And he'll be chayiv if he says he'll serve. But in the case where the maces didn't say any shvachim, we don't have to worry that he'll be instigated. He might change his mind. And he won't be chayiv if he says, Eved, I will serve. How do I know it's talking about this case where he's being told shvachim? It says, from the God of the nations that surround him, those that are close to you and far distant to you. What's the difference between those that are close to you and those that are distant for you? Why do you have to even mention both? Only Why do you have to mention the distant ones for you, or the ones that are close to you? To tell you, from the knowing about the idols that are close to you, and you know it's nothing, because you know your research, so too you'll know those distant ones that the people are trying to convince you. You'll know it's Dvarim Shein Ba Mamish. My love, isn't that not the Malay that the Mason said to the Nisis? Kach oichela, so the idol eats. Kach sheis, this how it drinks. Kach metiva, this is when you do good to it. This is the good it does back to you. Kach maria, this. When you do bad to it, this is how bad it'll do to you. Shmamino is a raya from here. Ravashi Amar Sefer. Ravashi says the Sefer of the Mishnah. This is how he answers this theta. That this when it says Eved is Chayiv, is talking about being so mumma. That it was a rebellious yid who was mekabel himself to serve idols, so he cannot retract. But otherwise, he could retract if it's not a rebellious yid. Zog the Gemara, Ravina says, both Mishnayos gives a different answer. This that is not a stira. This that it says Oved, you cannot be Medaik only if he actually serves. But if he says Oved, he's not going to be Chayiv. That's not true. The next Mishnah says Oima, if he says he's going to be Chayiv, because he's saying Loi Rakzu Alav Zu Katan. He's telling you the first Mishnah that said Oved, he's starting with a smaller Chiddush, that even if he actually serves, when he actually serves, he's going to be Chayiv Misa. Then the next Mishnah comes to tell you, not even if he didn't actually serve, just saying I'm going to serve, he's going to be Mechayiv Misa. Itma, we had learned, it says, somebody who serves idols out of love or fear, but not that he had in mind that this is a God. Abai Yamachayiv, Rabbi Amapata. Abai says Chayiv, Rabbi says he's Pata. Abai Yamachayiv, Abai says Chayiv the Hapolcha, because he served Abai the Zara in action. Rabbi Amapata. Rabbi says he's Pata. If he accepted as a Getchke in, yeah, he's going to be Chayiv. He lied, but if he didn't accept it as a God, lie, he's not going to be Chayiv with his actions. Simen Navadish Tachma Little Mashiach. Ram Habai Yibana Amin in love. Where do I know this? It's not that we learned now. Mishnah David Zichavim. It says somebody who serves idols. Chayiv Skila is Chayiv Skila. Echad David. Now, what does it have to say Echad David? If you're already talking about shachting for idols, or burning fats for idols, or libation for idols, what's the kavanah in the Mishnah by saying Echad David? That's part of Aveda. It's all included. I'm sorry, why did he have to say Zvichva, Aktaru, Nisuch? They're all included in Aveda. So what is he saying, Echad David? They're all part of Aveda. My love. Echad David, he's coming to tell you whether he serves out of love and fear, but he doesn't have it in his heart, and he doesn't think, and he doesn't consider this as a God. He doesn't do it as L'Shem Aleikus. Nevertheless, he's going to be Chayiv Skila. Rabbi Amalach, and Rabbi will say to you, Loi. No, you don't explain the Mishnah this way. Rather, you explain Kedematadas Rabbi Yemiyah. The Mishnah is saying, whether you're serving that way, then any idol, that the normal Aveda is that way. If you serve it in that way, you're going to be Chayiv Misa. Even if he's Mizabech to an idol that normally is not done through Zvicha, he's still going to be Chayiv Skila. That's what he's come to teach us. From where do I know this? The Tanya that we learned in Abraisa, it says Lahem is extra, and Yadash and Lahem means Lipsolim, Yatam Mishtachva. To Getchkis, you're not allowed to serve. But you're allowed to serve, or bow to a person that's like you, Stamazay, meaning, Ted was mata to Stam, bow, out of covered a year, and even to over the Lilim, there's no Isa to bow in front of it. They Lechabdei. That's what he wants to say. But here he's talking about even a regular person. Yahweh, I would have thought, Avilu Daman Kahaman, even if others serve him, serve it, Haman was considered himself as a god. So even those that serve a person like Haman, so I would have thought he's also going to be Pata Tamad Lema. Therefore, it says the extra word V'loisa Avdem. It says in the pasuk you shouldn't bow to them, and then it says V'loisa Avdem. So Yishtach to bow to another person out of covet, that's mutter. But a person who considers himself as an idol, it says V'loisa Avdem. But Haman, but Haman, because of the fear of the king, the people served him. And on this, the Braisa says the bowing is osur. One who's Eved Avodah Zarah me'ava me'yira is chayiv. So Rava will explain that this that the Braisa said never kahaman is kahaman in one inyan, but like kahaman, but not mamish like Haman. Meaning, this that other man Haman that he himself is idol, made himself as idol, as idol. But like Haman, but not like Haman mamish dilo Haman miyir, because Haman was served out of fear. But Hacha Mashenkin here the Bryce is talking about by a person, not miyira. It's not out of fear that he served them, only he served them because he considered it as a god. On that the Bryce said, you're not allowed to bow b'stam. You're not allowed to stam bow to him if it's not out of Ava v'yira. You're doing it only because you consider it as a god. That's also. Where do I know this then? The Tanya that we learned from Abayis, the Inyan Kain HaMashiach, the din is a Kain HaMashiach who does an Aveda. So first, if he does it out of Paskin Halacha, and it was Nelam from him, the Halacha, and Reivtzi, but did it exactly like him, then he brings a Parachatas. And in such a case, every Yachid, and if he himself did it, if he did an Aveda, he would have to bring a Himail if he did an Aveda. So says the Gemara, by a Kohen Mashiach, what will happen? A Kohen Mashiach by who is a Sheikh Ba'aved Zechavim, meaning Rabbi says he's Chayiv v'Shigas Maisa. If he did it as action, he made a mistake, not because he made a mistake in his psak, but he did it as a mistake, not knowing that it's Avodah Zarah. That he's not going to be a Chayiv only Behelam Dava. Only if the halacha was concealed from him, and he did it according to his psak, like the other Avedas. But the Shavan and Rabbi and Chacham both agree by a Kohen HaMashiach who served Avodah Zarah, who did the action of serving Avodah Zarah, Bes'ira Kidin Yachid, that will bring a female goat like a Yachid who serves Avodah Zarah, even though normally a Kohen HaMashiach who does a sin doesn't bring a female goat, rather he brings a he goat. But over here they'll have the same din, that they'll bring only a female goat, because by Avodas Chachamim it says ve'im nefesh achas techta bishgaga, and it implies whether it's a yachid and whether it's a nasi, whether it's Kohen HaMashiach, they're all included in the word nefesh achas. And that's why they all will bring equally a female goat, even though some of the Nasi or the Kohen HaMashiach normally brings on his Haveda a he goat, a Zacha. Veshavin and Rebbe Nachab both agree, She'ein maybe Asham Talui on a Safik, a Shaygeg, on whether he did this Haveda or not. He won't have to bring Asham Tali, because the top pasuk says only it says only on if he knows for sure that he was a shoygig does he bring, but not on a suffix. And where's the pasuk? It says in the pasuk al shigegase asher shogog. So the pasuk is coming to teach us only one who all is that all his averis that he has done. B'shoygeg he's chayv achatos, and b'safik he's chayv asham tali. So there it's only referring to a zar to exclude the Kohen Mashiach. That rak b'avidus gechavim is going to be chayv chatos on if it's not a suffix. Only if it's for sure that he knew that he was a shoygig. So this case of shigig ma'isa of idols without a helam, without a concealment. Hey Chidami, how is it talking about that there was no concealment? He said he did the action of avodah zarah, not because he forgot about the halacha. So what's the case talking about? If you're going to say he thought Beis HaKnesset, that it was a Beis HaKnesset Yishtach Eloi, and then he became aware that it was Avodah Zarah, Arei Libi Hayil HaShamayim. When he bowed, his heart was towards heaven, not to serve it as idol. So he's not Chayv Achatas. Ela de Chazam Data. Rather, he saw a pestle, he saw a statue, the muz of the king, and he didn't know. So if he saw this statue and he intended to serve it, and he bowed out down to it, and later on he became aware it's Avodah Zarah. So Eloha, if he accepted this statue on himself as a god, a getchke, as a god, and he served al Avodah Zarah Bezud, and he's amazing. He doesn't bring a kam chatas. He like Kabbalah Beloha, and if he didn't accept it as a getchke, he didn't serve it as Avodah Zarah, only for the covenant of the king itself, like Klumhu, then he didn't do anything. Elah, for sure, we're talking about by a Kohen Gadol who served Avodah Zarah b'shogeg out of the love of this person or his fear. He knew that it's forbidden to serve Avodah Zarah as Avodah, but he made a mistake in this prat, thinking that you're allowed to serve out of love and fear for him. And this concealment is not considered Helam Dava, because it's only action in which he made a mistake. And this, the Chacham are arguing if he's going to be Chayv Achatas or not. Because the Avodah Zarah did it me'ava v'yira. Rabbi Amalacha, and Rabbi is going to say to you, "Light, this is not considered a shigas ma'isa, a mistake in his actions upon which you chayv. Only it's talking about b'ayim muta. It's talking about where he said that it's permitted to serve Avodah Zarah, which he thought there's no Isa of Avodah Zarah, that there's no Isa of Avodah Zarah in the Torah. When he says it's mutter to serve Avodah Zarah, that's Haino Helam Dava, that's considered that the halacha was concealed from him, and even the Chacham Ha'Maida, that a Kohen HaMashiach is going to be Chayv Achatas. And you want to know, that he said there was no Isa Avodah Zarah in the Torah at all. Since he was uprooting the whole Isa, that's not called Helam Dava, it's not called concealment. Helam Dava is Kiyam Mitzvahs, Ubitul Mitzvahs, that there's a part of the Isa, and there's a being Mevat part of the Isa. Like he knew that the Torah asks Avodah Zarah through shechting and burning fats for it. But he thought bowing is going to be mutter.